been through a couple of shipwrecks, so glad it's over with my ex. But we stay afloat cause you're my index. Seeing clearly now, don't need Windex. Zooming in once and forward and I don't need the context. I know less is more when you keep my data in check. Hey, I think you're the best for me. Hey, cause you help me see. Whoa, cause you're my index. Whoa, my data's in check. Whoa, cause you're my index. Index.
Okay, now it's gonna be better. Hello everyone.
Hello everybody.
If you can see us, if you can hear us, please set the thumbs up in the YouTube chat or Discord, because we are going to start Cassandra workshop series with bringing streaming to Apache Cassandra with Apache Pulsar. Today it's here Cedric Lunven, Director of Developer Advocacy, who will speak about that. With me assisting Alex Volochnev, Developer Advocate at DataStax. We are happy to see you all, and that's amazing to be with you here today. So,
yes, with the brand new content.
Yeah.
You know, today will be mostly Pulsar and still Cassandra. But this workshop, it's brand new. So let's see how it goes today.
Yeah, everything is okay. Audio and video are good. Hello, so I see a few dozens of people here today. That's amazing. And I guess, Cedric, we can start. That's 5 minutes already.
Oh yeah, let's go, let's roll. So little bit of housekeeping as usual. So we are live on YouTube. We're answering your question on YouTube during the live. It's not only me and Alex. We do have Erick RAMIREZ and Enrico Olivelli answering your question in the YouTube chat as well. We do have a backup stream on Twitch, but we do not really monitor the question there. That's really just a backup. We also have a Discord room at bit.ly/Cassandra-workshop. This Discord is pretty neat to answer your question also during the workshop. Why not? But also after the workshop, because after the workshop, the YouTube chat is done. So Discord is pretty neat for that. Also, if you reach any error and you want to copy-paste your stack trace, you can go to Discord and do one-on-one discussion with a tech from DataStax team to help you there. It's a pretty good room with 9,000 people there already. So it's a good community, and I'm not surprised that we will do some stuff, live coding there just for this nice community with us. Okay. This is a live session with a lot of interactivity. So I will ask you questions during this workshop using a tool called Menti. So to use that, you will go to menti.com on your new tab in your browser, enter the code I will give you, and then I will ask you a question and we will play games in the end, and there is swag to win. You will do a lot of labs. Okay, it's a workshop, it's not a webinar, a lot of hands-on. With today, a lot of tools. You will use Katacoda, Gitpod, Astra, and Kesk. I will explain each tool one after the other, but you don't have to install anything. You will do a full streaming application using 3 components, multi-cloud and everything, and you don't have to install anything.
I want to say a word on that. Some people maybe, why those guys are making me switching screens all the time? We are using so many tools. My answer is, with others guys, you still would have to use a lot of different tools, but you would have to install all of them. We at least saving you from installation of multiple tools we are going to combine together.
True. Yeah, but yeah, today you will open a bunch of tabs.
Indeed.
Okay, so speaking of Menti and the first questions. So please, this. Okay, please open menti.com on a new tab and enter the code 2707827. So in the beginning, it's only me asking you 6 questions about your level. Did you already use Cassandra? Did you already use Pulsar? And based on the answer, I will adapt my talk today. But today, again, not a lot of slides. It's mostly you that will work and do the hands-on. So let's see. I do have very few people on the Menti so far, so I will wait for you. So, and I will add the 07827.
Don't forget, at first, that's just a couple of questions, not a quiz, not a competition. But
exactly.
in the end of the workshop, we will have a quiz, a competition when you win swag and compete with other participants. So what I want to give you 2 secrets of successful competition. First, watch your phone, not the YouTube screen, because YouTube has a delay of 1-2 seconds, and then you want to be quick. You have to watch the Menti screen during the quiz time, not the YouTube. YouTube gives you +1, +2 seconds of delay, and obviously you will be late. And second, as it's a live stream, in some cases YouTube tries to delay it even more, and you will have your live button not with a red circle anymore, but just gray live. If in that case you have to push the live again, so it will have a red circle close to it, and therefore it means what you are watching the live translation, not a recording of a live translation. Okay?
Yeah, super cool. So, yeah, nice saying. We will say it again in the end for everyone to have the chance. 30 people with us on the Menti, so that's super cool. I will start the question. You know, Alex, I see in the chat that we do have Bettina and Jack also with us this morning. So, hey, Bettina. Okay, so first question, how much experience do you have with Apache Cassandra? From never heard about it to I'm an expert. So let's see.
Yeah.
Do we have expert today? Never heard about it, really? Okay, I know the concept. I have used 1 or 2. Okay, that's okay. So today the workshop is really mostly Apache Pulsar, but still I will give a couple of words on Cassandra, this NoSQL distributed database. But in this channel, you do have tons of content and hands-on as today to make you great with Cassandra.
I would say today we speak about 2 things. Main thing, what is Apache Pulsar and how you use that. And second is how you make Apache Pulsar working with Apache Cassandra. And if you have no idea what the Cassandra is, second part may be a little bit harder for you. But the general idea is Cassandra is a distributed, decentralized database. For today, that's going to be enough. But in general, for the future, we suggest you to visit our Introduction to Cassandra workshops because, well, it's a powerful technology which is used in the biggest companies over the world. So it deserves your attention, I would say.
Okay, so I never heard about it with the same typo twice. That's funny. Okay, so I will stay back to the basics. Do not try to go deep dive. So if I start to go deep dive, Alex, you stop.
Okay, I will try.
Okay. Which programming language are you familiar with? So spoiler alert, today we will do a little bit of Java. Okay, you don't need to know Java. It's a bit of Java you will simply execute. I will look at the code. Oh, so I don't see that popping. Should I refresh?
Yeah, I think try to refresh. There must be some answers already.
Yeah, I'm seeing so. Let's see. Yes, see, sometimes Menti just lazy. But you know, now Menti is an old friend. We know how it works.
Yep.
Okay, so Java, Python. All right, so as I said, a little bit of Java today. The code is there in Python as well if you want to try, but it's not our exercise. I will show that later. Okay.
And don't worry if you don't know Java. There are only very simple things you can get them.
Exactly.
To be a better programmer, you have to learn more than one language anyway. So it's a good chance to start with Java.
Yes, that's the point. I saw that there is a lot of C. I mean, 15 people on C, so way more than Go, Kotlin, Scala, and even PHP. That's cool. Okay, question number 4. Which queuing technology are you familiar with? So I'm a dinosaur. You may not look like that, but I'm in the business for 15 years, and I use a lot of queuing technology. So MQ series, WebSphere MQ, ActiveMQ, EMS, Solaz. I think I've used all of them. Good old time with Java messaging services. Even the Microsoft one.
For me, longest story was with IMQP, exactly speaking, RabbitMQ and Kafka. Yeah, that's the main things I've used, and of course AWS Simple Query Service, which is not on this list, but still okay. Yeah.
Yes, I should put that also. Yeah, Azure Service Bus and such.
Yeah, maybe.
There are so many tech now that.
I have a question to you. While we are asking questions, I have a question to you, Cedric. What was the biggest reason to use queuing services in your projects? Because I believe we have some attendees in this workshop who has not so much understanding of what the queuing technology is and what's the purpose of it.
Yes, I do have a slide on that, but simply put, it's to allow asynchronous communication between applications. Okay, because having synchronous communication is expensive, is heavy, because you are blocking your system to wait for answer, request, reply. So all the REST API call, web services call we are doing, those are quite expensive, but it is on purpose because the user wants the answer immediately. When a system communicates to another, you can simply, okay, I send you a message and you will process the information when you can. And so this mechanism is called asynchronous communication or queuing. I will send a message in a queue and you will read that queue at your own pace and start processing the message.
Yep. I prefer to use a terminology like we have messages, and message usually have one sender, one receiver, and it's normally blocking. So you send the message, you will wait till you receive the response. In some cases, that's suboptimal. And we also have a notification. Notification has one sender from 0 to multiple receivers, and it's usually asynchronous. So you just send a notification, you don't wait till it will be processed. So queuing is for notifications for asynchronous processing, non-blocking processing, which is often much more efficient.
Yes, I agree. But I do have a slide on that. Let's see. If you keep having questions, yes, we can keep some time with that. Okay, have you been to any of our workshops? Never! Okay, so welcome newcomer. This is always good to have newcomers. I hope you will enjoy the experience, this interactivity, and you working even if it's a virtual event. So once or twice, regularly, weekly, I watch the recording. Recording is great as well. So we are doing those workshops every week and twice a week. So on Wednesday, my evening, so it was 12 hours ago for people living in the USA. And this, my morning, I'm in Paris right now, so it's 9 a.m. plus. So second session every Thursday morning, same time. And it's workshop number something like 80.
Yep.
So if you like the workshop, there is plenty of review to do on this channel.
And next week we have advanced data modeling workshop.
Yes.
With a special guest, Artyom Chebotka, one of the best experts in data modeling in the world, and we are going to create efficient data models for hard-loaded applications in working with Apache Cassandra. So it's going to be very interesting. And if you have basic understanding of Apache Cassandra, I kindly suggest you to join. And if you don't have basic understanding of Apache Cassandra, you still have 1 week. So that's enough.
Yes. Yeah, spoiler. So advanced data modeling in 1 week. In 2 weeks, it will be building microservice with Spring Boot. In 3 weeks, it will be building a serverless application with the Jamstack, React, Redux, JavaScript. And in 4 weeks, it will be putting Cassandra in Kubernetes. Then it's Quarkus. Okay, the schedule runs for months. I won't give you all the dates. I will give you where to look at the dates in the end.
Yep, and I'm working also on the serverless intensive workshop, so we can deploy another one serverless application. So we put a lot of attention to serverless. That's a pretty interesting field to us.
All right, so that's it for the 6th first question. Keep this window open. In the end, as Alex said we will go back and play a game. Okay, so let's move to the bit slides part just to introduce the concept before jumping into the labs. Okay, so what is Pulsar? Well, Pulsar has been developed at Yahoo and has been given to the Apache Software Foundation in 2016. So it's 5 years ago already. But it moved as a top-level Apache project only 3 years ago. But it's really in the last 12 to 18 months that Pulsar really start rising and had a lot of users, dozens of users using the tools in production. And look at that, it's now more than 7K on GitHub, and we have big Fortune 500 using Pulsar. So Pulsar is a messaging system. You know, the queuing system, it's a distributed streaming platform. So what we call queuing is also called pub and sub for publisher and subscriber. Somebody send a message, it's a publisher. Somebody receive a message, it's a subscriber. In the Pulsar platform, it's distributed. Why it is distributed? To scale, and to scale a lot horizontally. So adding more machine to your cluster in the same way as Cassandra scale. It's designed for high performance, low latency, and Geo Replication. Again, that seems familiar if you're using Cassandra, and I will keep saying that during 2 hours, to be honest. So DataStax acquired Kesk, which is a company providing support for Pulsar a couple of weeks ago. So now DataStax will provide support for Pulsar. And so when I look at the technology, I was, all the concepts are the same as Cassandra. Those are working so well together. There is no doubt it was a good pick. Okay. Pulsar also split compute, processing the message, and storing the message. I will show that in a minute. Okay, so queuing, distributed queuing messaging. So what about the architecture? It's a distributed architecture. Okay, 3 times I say that. So the publisher is called a producer in the Pulsar world, and the subscriber are called the consumers. Producer, consumers. So those are simply application sending and receiving message. They will contact a broker. A broker is a stateless process running somewhere that will accept your request to read or write messaging. The metadata, which is what is a list of my queues, list of my topic, how we distribute my data, all the metadata are stored in Zookeeper. Okay, Zookeeper is also a distributed system that a lot of tools and technology used. It's not well loved. I don't know sure why, but I like Zookeeper for system discovery and such like that. It's working pretty well. So metadata in Zookeeper. The data now Data is not on disk. Data is using another Apache project called Bookkeeper. So it's close from Zookeeper. It's not the same. Bookkeeper. So data in Bookkeeper and the metadata in Zookeeper. And so Bookkeeper, you will install this technology on multiple machines, and one Bookkeeper server is called a bookie. So if you heard me a lot talking about bookie, a bookie is simply a machine where I have installed Bookkeeper. Okay. Bookkeeper is also distributed, and it's happen-only log. That means once you have stored a value on bookie, you cannot delete it. And you say, okay, so that means you cannot delete any message in Kafka. In Pulsar. It's not working like that. You will simply add a new information on this telling, oh, the previous message should be deleting. It's happen only, and if you know Cassandra, it's working the same. Okay. Data itself, it's broken into ledger and segment into multiple bookies. So when you interact with Pulsar, you will work with topics, which is the name of the queue where you send message. And inside the topic, you can have, so the data is split first by ledgers. And so ledger are distributed in the bookie, and the ledger also is split in segments. Okay. If you work with Cassandra again, partition, yeah, perhaps. It's not one-to-one, okay? The broker can have, a topic can have multiple partition, but a partition can have multiple ledgers. Okay, producer acknowledge when quorum of bookies have acknowledge. So, you send the message to the broker will send your message to bookie. So the data is replicated, same as Cassandra again, on multiple bookie, and you get acknowledged when the quorum of the bookie have been allocated, to be sure you not lose any message. And it's a load balance between the bookie. So if you send the message, maybe the 1 and 2 will be updated, and the second message will update bookie 2 and 3. It's like distributed the load among bookies and the capacity. But your data is always stored at least in 2 locations. That means one bookie does not hold all the data. That also means if you lose a bookie, this crash, the system is still up because you can still write into the remaining bookie. Okay, so why Pulsar? So Pulsar is open source. It's a queuing system, Geo Replication, multi-tenancy, and scaling. So let's see all these points. I mean, open source, it's more or less covered. It's in Apache Software Foundation. A lot of people behind this project, huge company behind this project, and this project will live long. You may have heard on the news that open source project with no foundation tends to change their license. Maybe you have heard about database lately that changed their licenses model because they are not protected by this kind of foundation. Okay. With Pulsar, okay, it's already in the Apache, you're good to go. Okay. So I like this slide. Come back to what is publisher and subscriber, the PubSub system. So I and Alex already talked about that in the beginning. So a publisher, here it will be a producer, okay, in Pulsar, will send message. And you can send message in a queue. That means only one receiver will read the message and delete the message from the queue. Okay, so I'm sending a message. Oh, you do have this work to do in a queue. And the first people that can process that message, read the message, process the message, and delete the message from the queue. And this is a point-to-point communication in purple here. This is not how Pulsar works. This is really the all the ways to interact with pub subsystem. It's not the default behavior in Pulsar. Or you can send to a topic. So if you send a message to a topic, then you can have multiple subscribers. In the GMS world, a message in a topic will be deleted when all the subscribers have read the message. Again, in Pulsar, it's not working like that. Okay, this is really the high-level pub-sub system. Differences between queue and topic. Well, in Pulsar, now the application creating message are called producer. And now I will only talk about producer. So producer send message. In Pulsar, you create topic, and then you decide how this message should be consumed with multiple flavors of subscriptions. You can first say exclusive subscription in the middle. I want this message only to be read by this consumer, and okay, nobody else will consume that. Or shared subscription, so now multiple consumers can read the message, or even failover subscription, just to have a fallback consumer if the first fail. So the keywords in the Pulsar, the vocabulary is really producer, consumer, topic, and subscription. And this is all the terms we will use right now in the labs. Okay, I told you geo replication. So when you create a topic, remember the topic where I will send my message. When I create a topic here, topic A, and my producer send message to topic A, I do have a subscription and consumer 1 reading subscription 1. I'm super happy in cluster 1. But I can make this topic available in other clusters. Okay, what we call it's like multiple DC in Cassandra in a way, you know. So you will create another cluster elsewhere on the planet, and then when you read and write data in the topic, it will be replicated for you in the other cluster. Pretty cool, right? And it's done for you by Pulsar. And the idea is to have the topic A as close as possible of your consumer, you know, to speed up the consumption or to distribute the load of the consumption if needed. So again, if you know Cassandra, that should ring a bell. So it's multi-tenant. So this stuff is new. So multi-tenant is multiple logical installation, multiple logical area inside the same installation. So in my cluster with multiple regions, here region 1 and 2, I can create tenants. Tenant 1, 2, 3 here. And that's pretty neat. That means if you install Pulsar on your IT, you can reduce the cost. You should have a single Pulsar cluster and multiple tenants for your multiple application or multiple environments. It has been designed as multi-tenancy upfront, and also pretty neat when it comes to cloud-based application, because we tend to install once and have multiple tenants for your multiple users. And you know what? Today, in the labs number 2, you will create a tenant. So don't be surprised. This is simply an area for you in an existing Pulsar cluster. So about better scaling, I will go fast here. So in other, there is, of course, a high competitor of Pulsar, which is Kafka. And this is why I had this glitch before. Apache Kafka is also a distributed messaging system. We will have a dedicated webinar on February the 16th, Kafka versus Pulsar deep dive with Jonathan Ellis, CTO of DataStax, and Chris Latimer, which is product manager of Pulsar. A lot of similarities. What changed here is about the scalability. On Kafka, you assign partitions to broker. And so when a new broker came in, the cluster will be slowed down because you need to copy or move some partition to the new broker to redistribute the load of the data with the multiple broker. Well, with Pulsar, you don't have to do that because the Zookeeper, the metadata part, hold an abstraction of your partition. So in Zookeeper, you do have something telling, oh, this partition is distributed in those ledgers. Remember, so ledgers are held by the bookie. And so if you need more capacity, you add a new bookie, and there is no need to reshuffle, to redistribute the load and the partition. The Zookeeper will simply say, oh, okay, it's a pointer. You know, I saw that we do have a C guys. Okay, that's a pointer. Just say, and linked list. Okay, just say, okay, now the next item in my partition would be in that new bookie, no copy, and it's scaled smoothly. Okay, I know it was a lot of theory, but you know the good part? Now you can start and play with this tool. So today we will use these nice, let me find my browser. Okay, so all the slides, all the demo, all the instruction are on DataStax, github.com/datastax/EMEA/workshop Pulsar. Okay, so here you do have all the code, the materials, the slide. Okay, and the labs, you simply go to open the labs. Okay, and we will do 4 labs this morning. So 1, 2, 3, 4, and I provide you all the resources as well to keep going, keep learning, and a ton of giveaway, especially today. So I ask you now to go to Getting Started and start using Getting Started with Pulsar. And I will give you about 15 minutes to do this Getting Started with Pulsar. So you read the description and you simply go through the step. So just as a note, you do not have so many scenarios because we expect you to be there this morning, and we have provided a dedicated environment for you. So you should have those two, only those 2 scenarios, and you can simply go and say, start Pulsar scenario. Also, if you are using the Brave browser, you should either disable the shields or try to use Chrome because Brave block some cookies that is required by Pulsar. So please follow the step of the Katacoda scenario step by step. You do have 15 minutes. It's more than enough. Take your time. Make sure you complete one statement before going to the others. Because if you go too fast and click, at some point you will, folder not found. Yeah, because you do not let the tool unzip the archive, for instance. We had that yesterday. So simply, step by step, read the instruction and move to instruction. What you will do during this lab, you will install Pulsar, create a producer, create a consumer, and start reading a message from the consumer. Okay, so first step for me, I'm downloading Pulsar. Okay, it has been downloaded. Second step, I will enter. So it will take again a few minutes. No, it's pretty fast. I continue to step number 2. See, I'm simply reading the instruction there, just for you to know, in the GitHub repo, okay, I really explain you step by step where to go, where to click. So this is what I did. I did step 1, install Pulsar, click, continue, but not that fast. Click, wait for the download, click, wait for the enter, click, wait for everything, okay. Now, okay, I will go on. I'm not reading because, obviously I know that I know everything already. But you know, do it at your own pace. Jeez, I keep moving from one tab to another. Okay, so lsconf. So this first step is really, okay, you want to set up Pulsar not to use too much memory. So you don't have to know what's exactly happening with this command line. What we say simply, we replace a key in a configuration file to say Pulsar, whoa, don't use more than 1 GB of memory, because you will live in the Katakoda scenario and you cannot use all the memory you want. Okay, now I will go to bin. So here you can see that, maybe can I make that bigger maybe? Okay, here you see that I did lsbin, so this is all the commands that are available for you, so especially Pulsar admin and Pulsar client. Here you see the bookkeeper, and more for the perf, for instance. So what I will do is I will start Pulsar in a standalone node, simply Pulsar standalone. And I will wait for Pulsar to start before moving. And if you're done with this exercise, please give us a thumb up in the YouTube chat or Discord, and we know that we can move on. Okay, so info successfully started. There will be a number on info log level display. Seems like info manage public, it has been started. Let's go. Continue. Okay, so now I will go to Pulsar. Okay, and I will list first higher level the cluster. Okay, and here there is a single cluster named standalone. Okay, here you are seeing a warning. So Nashorn engine is planned to be removed from a future JDK. The reason is in Katakoda we are using JDK 8, 9. Nashorn is a JavaScript engine in the JDK, and it will be removed pretty soon, replaced by something called GraalVM JS, which is good enough. And Nashorn were pretty hard to maintain, and so the JDK team decided to remove Nashorn from the JDK. But as of today, you get this warning. Okay, it's not a Pulsar issue, anything, just a JDK. It's a warning. It's not harmful. You can go on. So cluster list, higher level cluster. I do have a standalone cluster. Okay. So let's see inside this cluster, what is my tenant? I do have two tenants, public and sample. Remember, in a cluster is multi-tenant, and that makes sense. I can have multiple. Here I have two, public and sample. Okay, inside a tenant, what you will have then is what we call a namespace. Okay, so now what I ask in the tenant public, give me the namespace. So here we do have two namespaces, public/default and public/functions. Okay, and finally, I want to list the topics inside the cluster, inside the namespace, inside the tenant public, inside the namespace default. And as of now, there are no topic, and makes sense. We just download the product. We just start a new fresh cluster, so it's expected that we do not have topic. Parallel with Cassandra, look at that. A namespace, a tenant is like, a namespace is like a key space, and a topic is like a table. Maybe I draw too many parallels between Pulsar and Cassandra, but I'm working with Cassandra field for so long now that I drew some lines in my head just to associate Pulsar topics, keywords with Cassandra keywords. Okay, so continue. Now we will create a new topic. So using Pulsar admin command, we will say Pulsar admin topic create, and we will create a topic in the tenant public, the namespace default, and with the name Shakespeare quote. Okay, so now if I list the topic again, I do have my little guy, which is Shakespeare quote. And see, this is a full URL of the topic, persistent // and Okay, tenant namespace topic name. Continue. Did I click continue? Okay, I did. So step 6 is use Pulsar client to create a consumer that receives the message. Okay, so go to Pulsar, and I will Pulsar client. See, this is the other tools in the bin folder to consume something that is in Shakespeare quote. And when I connect a consumer to consume a topic, I create what we call a subscription, and I provide a name for my subscription. And here the subscription name is my Shakespeare subscription. So with that, we do have the topic, and we do have something ready to consume stuff in the topic. So next step is let's publish something in the topic, creating a producer. You got it. Okay, so let's create a producer. So again, cd Pulsar, go back to where are all the binaries. Pulsar client produce. Okay, I want to produce a message where I provide the topic name, -m. This is the message, -m for the message. So I'm sending this message. So you can see one message successfully produced. Okay, so now there is a small trick with Katakota. We will simply do an echo to move back to the terminal of the consumer terminal. See, here I do have a terminal, admin terminal, consumer terminal. I can either go to click consumer terminal, or I can simply echo go to consumer terminal. See, I have switched from one to another. And so look at that, one message successfully consumed. Okay, it's very small, it's simple. We just created a topic, send a message, receive a message, all from the command line. Okay. And now I can do the same in the last, but instead of sending one message, I will send multiple, providing -n, -r, -s, yada, 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 which is simply send me multiple message and wait this amount of time in between the message. So if I click there, okay, now I'm back to producer terminal, and these guys should start sending message, and at the consumer, I will start receiving the message one after one. Okay, boom, 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 got message, got message, got message, got message. Okay, it's the same as before, but we simply ask the producer to keep sending message based on this text and split with the tilde, okay, which is -s tilde. S for splitter, I guess. S for split. Okay. Yes, and with that, I'm done with the Katakoda scenario. I fit the 10 minutes. So if you had any issue, please tell us. But you know, it's really clicking, go step by step.
Cedric, I see in YouTube chat the same issue what we've seen yesterday. From step bash bin pulsar admin, no such file or directory. What was that yesterday? Do you remember?
Because you did not cd Apache Pulsar client. You are not in the proper folder.
Yeah, there are two possible. Yeah, exactly. Now I remember. First option, you didn't switch to proper folder, so check the path. And second option, if you did, but there is still no file, you may wait for it to install. Yes, that was the issue yesterday. Exactly. Thank you, Eric.
Thank you, Eric. See, I'm not logging in anything in Katakoda. You can log in with your GitHub account, but I'm not sure it's required for this Katakoda. So now, see, look at my screen. I am not logged in at all. I feel like Katakoda is very cool, right? If you already finish, you can start scenario number 2 if you want to, but I will go back with a little bit of slide to move on. But you know, cont'd is pretty neat. This is infrastructure dedicated for workshop today. But I will give you a link later today as well, where I do have all the DataStax courses on cont'd. Look at that. We do have courses for getting started, for migration, for data modeling, fundamentals, Kubernetes, operations, Spring Boot, Spring Reactive, SAI, and of course, Pulsar. And if you go to Pulsar, they are the one we just did, but there are 5 total. So why do you only see 2? This is because we know we will be multiple dozens of people using the same scenario. We need a bigger infrastructures, and so we have provided this for you. And it's a dedicated and special link for us this morning. And you know, afterward, you can use the generic link and to use much more scenario and do much more things. Okay, any comment on the chat, Alex? How do we do? Do we have any thumb up? Okay,
yeah, we have a thumbs up.
Okay, Akil baby is ready. We are on time, but I think I need to move. So as you can see, you can do this lab at your own pace, and you can come back whenever you want to just do that. And we will still be there on the Discord to answer your question. Okay, so that's it for lab 1. Hope you enjoyed. Let's move to lab 2, Kesk.com. So I told you in the beginning that DataStax acquired the Kesk company a couple of weeks ago. So Kesk provided support for Pulsar, code the Pulsar framework. It's not only support, it's really implementing the tool, and also have software as a service, in the cloud on Kesk.com. So you can run Pulsar in the cloud. You don't have to install it. It's a software as a service, and it's Kesk.com.
Cedric, sorry, there is even 2 questions of does Pulsar has an user interface? And my answer is Kesk is the user interface to Pulsar. If you are fine using software as a service.
No. In Pulsar, there are multiple admin console. So there is an admin console when you install. There is an admin console to see your topics and see stuff. But it's not installed with the cont'd scenario. But yes, there is an admin UI to handle everything in Pulsar. And speaking of which, okay, I will show you that in a minute. But okay, so DataStax acquired Kesk company providing the software as a service, and the result is DataStax launches the Luna streaming offer. And in the Luna streaming offer, multiple stuff. So first, for Pulsar, we keep providing support for Pulsar. Second, we created a sink, which is a connector to connect Pulsar to Cassandra in a great way, and you will use that today. You can still use Kesk.com as a software as a service system. And also, we ship Pulsar distribution inside Docker images, dedicated distribution. And we not only provide Pulsar and the admin console and all the console, but more. We plug Pulsar through Pulsar, Bookie, Zookeeper to the Grafana Prometheus stack, and we give you some dashboard to monitor the full Pulsar cluster. And not only Pulsar, also Bookie, Zookeeper, but you can still access the Pulsar admin console. Okay. So I told you about the producer, the guy who will send message to the topic. So in Java, this is just a snippet of code to do so. Pretty neat to just realize is you can send a string, as we just did in the lab 1, but you can also send an object. And you simply tell the Pulsar client library, oh, this object should be a JSON. And that guy will serialize what we call marshalling the object into a JSON string for you in topic. And you will do that in a minute. So the producer is there to send message to a broker. A broker have a local message queue if he cannot access the topic with a max pending message and a queue size. And a producer can send message by batches. And you will see these concepts on multiple steps in Pulsar. But for more advanced view, I will simply say that a ledger is split in entries, and the entry can have multiple message. And the in entry, you do have the size of the batch, okay? Because you want the log is immutable, and you want to save the message once. And if you save a batch message, it would be faster because you save multiple messages at the same time in the same entry. And so the producer, you can batch the message. On the other side, consumer, working the same. Here for the code, I put Avro. Okay, just to consume that. Please do not send JSON and receive Avro. You may have issues. If you send JSON, receive JSON, would work better, I guess. But that's just a sample for you to show that we can also use Avro. So 3 big format: JSON, Avro, and protobuf. JSON, Avro, and protobuf. Okay. So you create when you consume message, you create a subscription, and in the subscription, you do have a cursor. So if you create a subscription foo, and you start consuming the message in the topic, you will start from the beginning. The default behavior is you will start from the latest message, but you can tell, okay, start from the beginning of the topic. You can move the cursor wherever you like. Okay. You shut down the consumer. You start again the consumer with the same subscription name. Now, description is associated with the cursor, so you won't go back again to the beginning of the topic. You will keep processing the message. So simply remind that behind the subscription there is a cursor moving in the topic, and if you start the subscription from scratch, by the way, it won't start at the beginning of the topic. It will just start at the end of the topic and only consume the message that's coming from this point. If you want your subscription to start from the beginning, and this is what you will do in the exercise, you add a couple of lines in the Java code. So lab 2, I told you, not a lot of slides. You will create a tenant in Cask.com. Then you will create a producer, sending message, receiving message, and show message both in the UI and in the Java consumer. Okay, so I put 40 minutes. Yesterday we did in 30 minutes. So let's do it. And at your mark, let's go. So go back to the GitHub repo and start working on lab number 2. And so if I want to do the same, I go to here, and I will move to lab number 2. So lab number 2, so yeah, again, do it on your own pace. If you cannot follow everything I did, it's not harmful, and I already have the object created in my tenant. Okay, so I will probably go fast. Okay, so first, in Cask, you create an account and you authenticate using GitHub, for instance. I do have GitHub everywhere. So the first time you go to, so use GitHub, the first time you go to Cask, you will be asked to create a tenant, okay? Do not use the same name as me. A tenant name should be unique in a cluster. And when you create your tenant, multiple clusters will be proposed to you. But I advise you to use US West 2. And so you cannot use the same tenant as me. So simply create the tenant name you like. It does not matter. It won't be part of the connection URL or anything. So please do not copy paste the name. Use your own tenant name. Then provide the cluster name. So this time I would advise you to use US West 2. You can pick whatever you like, but in the producer code, the default setup is US West 2. So either you pick the same as me, or you change the settings later in the exercise. Then please accept the condition and click next and confirm. Okay, and the last screenshot. Look at that. I have a sentence and a screenshot and an arrow just to click on the let's go button. Maybe this one is too much. Okay, and it will create your tenant. And let's see what you do have in your tenant by first going to the dashboard. So here you see this is the cluster I'm using, and this is my tenant name. Okay, you can access this tenant using multiple protocol, the Pulsar binary protocol, Pulsar SSL, or WebSocket API or HTTP APIs. Today, we will use the first two. In the Java producer consumer, we will use the Pulsar binary protocol, and in a UI, we will use the WebSocket client. Okay, if I go to plan, manage, just to see, we are using a free plan host in AWS. Okay, so I keep moving. Okay, next is, look, what do we have in our cluster? Okay, so you should have you should have a cluster with nothing there. Okay, just a namespace and nothing. In my environment, I already did the hands-on multiple time. I already have the objects ready. You don't need the object, so it should be 000, only a namespace. And if you want to look at the namespace, well, you see that it's local dash and the name of the cluster you are using. Okay, rate 0. So as of today, there is nothing happening in my namespace. Let's change that. As before, we want to create a topic, and we won't use the Pulsar admin command, but this time we will use the web UI. So go to topic and click add. That's funny. You know what? I will delete this guy. Yes. And I will also delete this guy, just to have a single topic. I know why this topic just came in my environment. I will show that as well later with the web UI client. Okay, so here I do have my topic named Astra. So I hope it's not confusing to have named my topic Astra. The idea is really everything that I will put in this topic, I want this data to move to Cassandra. And Cassandra as a service in the cloud is Astra. And this is why I picked the name Astra. So simply create a topic, provide the name Astra. Again, you can pick the name you like, but later you will have to change the settings in the exercise. Okay. And now I show you, okay, what do we have in the topic? And you should be almost like me, except I do have a consumer already, but except for that, it's the same. Okay, just the overview as of now, it's okay. Now you do have a topic in your tenant, and the topic is named Astra. Cool. Last but not least, I want you to create a producer and a consumer. To connect to the Kesk environment, you need to provide an authentication token. So if even before moving to the Java code, it's a good idea to just go to credentials, You can click to show the token, but I don't want you to select that token and copy. Here there is a small button on the right. You say click, and it's written, it has been copied in the clipboard. So now remember, I do have my authentication token in the clipboard. I'm moving on, and I will create a producer in Java. So how do you do that? Well, if you go to the CaseQI, code sample, Java, and you do have the dependency to import and the code to execute. See, this is the code of a producer, this is the code of a consumer. In the beginning, I told you, oh, if you are a Python user, a Python developer, look at that. I go to Python, it told me to pip install the client, and here is the code of the producer. So, if you feel confident, you can doing that and not using the code I've provided you, as you wish. And see, you do have Golang, Node, and WebSocket and HTTP code is provided. So let's stick to Java and the producer. So, you need a Java IDE. You need to install Java. No. We have you covered for weeks and months. We are using IDE in the cloud. And if you do not know it, it's called GitPod. And it's very, very super cool. What you do is simply right-click on the button and open in a new tab. Open link in a new tab. And what it will do, it will, start workspace. It will start opening a full running IDE in the cloud. And it's a clone of VS Code or Eclipse Thea, if you know them. And it's all features. There you do have Java, Python, Node, everything is already installed with all the module. And you will see in a minute that I can even start using Maven in this env. Loading pre-built. Loading. Sometimes, like Menti, I like to give a small push by hard refresh. Okay, come on, it's starting. It's coming alive. See, the title changed. Maybe everybody is using the same Gitpod as me right now. I mean, click on the same button at the same time. Come on, little guy. Starting. Woohoo. And which is cool is you are not downloading. You simply really this is the tool we are using is just for instance the Katacoda. Download the installation in the Katacoda env. Maybe for this one I'm downloading an image in the browser. Maybe it's way too long. I don't know what's happening. Okay, you know what? I would even start a new one in the new tab. It's way too long. I never had this so long. Oh, I broke Gitpod. But I have a fallback plan if GitHub is not happy. I do have the same code on my laptop. What about you? Do you have Gitpod running now? Or is it only me just starting?
It looks like what we have multiple people reporting problems with Gitpod.
Okay.
Sorry to say so. Usually it works fine to us.
Yeah. Even yesterday it worked like a charm. And even before this workshop, I mean, I had this GitHub window already open.
Yeah, local
No,
IDE is often better. But you know what? When we have multiple dozens of people trying to install it locally, we will not be able to advance at all. So
yes.
we tried to do it like that before using local tools. It's much worse than with online tools, despite they also have problems.
Yes, you know, and I told you before, I'm a dinosaur, so I'm not using IntelliJ. I'm stick to Eclipse. So starting, is it starting? I'm not sure it's starting. Okay, so I do have the code running in my local Eclipse. So this is the project that should open, okay, Pulsar demo. And what will be asked is to locate the application.properties and change the values for the Kesk tenant name, which is Kesk Astra demo, and the authentication token, which is here the token. And with that, you will move to the proper folder, Pulsar demo, and you will execute a producer. And if you look at the producer, it's, you know, the code you saw before, producer, new producers create schema JSON and tenant namespace topic. Okay. I'm using the Pulsar client, the library Pulsar client, you know, the one that I've been asked to add in the POM. Here it is, Pulsar client. And by the way, this is the only lib I'm using. I simply added the logback here to avoid any warning in the console, but I really only use the Pulsar client. Simple as possible. So I connect and I produce message. So how do I connect? Well, because we will use a producer and a consumer, I create just a little class to load these properties in as a singleton. You know, properties.load, very nothing special. I'm just loading the keys inside an object demo case configuration. And in the producer, I simply use conf.getAuthenticationToken. Okay. And I should, okay. Should I execute that as Java, or should I give a chance? Yeah, to, okay, open. It's starting again. Okay, it was not happy. It didn't really start. Okay, so let's go on with this. Acquire node. Maybe it will be better. Okay, I give a chance again to Gitpod. Okay, 2 more minutes, and I will move to run my own code locally. Acquiring nodes. You know, and now the guy at the Gitpod company say, who are those crazy guys at DataStax just all starting the same off at the same time? Pulling Docker image, initializing workspace. Okay. Almost there. Loading pre-built. Oh, it looked nice. Cross finger. Yeah, cool. So I do have my Gitpod. Hope you do have yours. So what I ask you is going to application.properties and change the keys. Okay, so let's change the keys. Hop. Your keys, it should still be in your clipboard. If not, go back to Kesk and copy paste the credential. Okay. And now I save, but autosave is enabled, and I will execute the command. So make sure you edit the process and then go to the proper folder, which is Pulsar demo. Okay, so here, Pulsar demo. Hope it is big enough. Okay, so Pulsar demo, and then run the producer. And I've already explained you what the producer does. So let's maven compile exec simple producer. All right. So I'm going here and execute my producer. And if everything okay, I will download a little bit of dependency. So configuration loaded successfully. And look at that. My producer now is start sending message to the topic. Hurrah! This is a first good step. I now have a producer sending message to Pulsar. If I keep going in the lab, they ask me to go to the topic, see that I do have a producer, and see that the messages are on the rise, and then go to the schema. So let's do that. I'm going to my topics. Okay, I do have a producer. Indeed, I do have a producer. And if I go to details, see message in a topic, keep moving, because I simply sent message to the topic. Also, which is pretty neat, I send a JSON message to the topic. And so the first message has generated for me a schema. And so when you work with a schema in a topic, you can say, oh, every single message in the topic should match this schema and be rejected if not matching the schema. Okay. All right. Cool. We do have the message. It's time to read that message, don't you think? So a first way to read those messages is through the UI. So if I go to test client, okay, and I show, okay, I need to consume message from a topic named Astra. So I'll go there and use Astra. This is my subscription name. Remember, when a consumer connects to a topic, it provides a subscription name associated to a cursor. And if you restart the same consumer with the same subscription, you will start again where you left your cursor. Producer topic, it will be Astra, and that's it. I can now connect and cross finger, I should see message coming. Okay, not bad. So this guy probably read message from the beginning, and so message is coming. At some point, he will have catch up my woohoo! At some point, it has catch up, and now it's moving at the pace of my producer. So if I go to my producer and I pick the latest 142, and I go to the UI, I should see 142 something here. It will come. It will jump. I have the same. Yeah, it's already gone. AF4. Okay, this guy. We just see this guy moving, and I won't put them side by side, but I guarantee that the message that I sent are the message I received on the UI. So now it's pretty cool. You send message to Kesk, you receive message in the UI. But what we want to do is also consume message from the Java client. So keep moving. I will now create a consumer. So what to do is click here, open new terminal. So I'm going open new terminal just to have the two terminals side by side. And I will work with the consumer. So if you go to the consumer code, I'm using the same configuration. I'm using the same Pulsar client. I should make that Pulsar client a singleton, by the way. But it's a demo code. Don't be too high expectation from this demo code. Okay, that's just a warning. It's not a big deal. And so I will connect to the same consumer, and I will provide a subscription name, simple Pulsar consumer. And here, look at that. I say subscription initial position earliest. If I do not provide that, the consumer will start from the beginning, from the current state. If I provide this line, it will start from the beginning. But because I use subscription name and the same subscription name in the past, it will start again where I left the last time. So let's see. I will move to Pulsar folder, same as before. Okay, and I will now execute my client. So again, let's see how it goes. Okay, so now I'm sending on the left side and I'm receiving on the right side, and I'm also receiving in the UI. So remember the subscription, the subscription. You can of course have multiple consumer on the same topic. Each consumer can use an exclusive subscription or a shared subscription. Okay. But here, this guy is exclusive, and I think by default on the Pulsar client it's also exclusive. Yes, okay, this guy was just a pain. And so now I do have consumer producer. So congratulations, that's it for lab number 2. We can move to lab number 3. And tell me if you can do it with me, thumb up, and you can move on. If you move fast, keep moving. The more you are doing, the better. The more you learn. But if you look at what I'm doing, that's also fine. So lab 3. So now we sending and receiving message into Pulsar. What we want to do is really to push this message into a database. Okay, so let's open my slides and just explain you the lab number 3 quickly. So we need a database. I will move that quick. I will move through that. I keep saying that Pulsar and Cassandra works well together because distributed system, replication, multi-DC log system. So the slides are in the GitHub repo. I really want you to more do hands-on that theory. So why use Pulsar with Cassandra? Well, when you build microservice, Pulsar can be used first for inter-microservice communication. You send a message to another microservice and so forth and so on. The use case Alex talked in the beginning, you send a message to your neighbor and the neighbor consumes that. Second use case is event streaming, and it's the most famous IoT system of record, geolocalization, a lot of more and more events all across the world. 5G is coming. You want to be able to insert messages at a very fast pace, and in distributed all around the world. Pulsar is there for that. But topics in Pulsar, even using Bookie, you would like to store those messages in Cassandra to use, powerful query language, Cassandra query language, and also tools coming with Cassandra like Spark and other tools. So this is what we will do. We will copy this message from Pulsar to Cassandra. So let's do it. How to do so? We are using Pulsar IO connectors. 2 flavors of connector: sources to acquire a message from external sources, like CDC, change data capture, or sink. Now, data in Pulsar should be pushed to a sink. And so we will use a Cassandra sink. So maybe you may ask, but why do you need a Pulsar connector to work with Cassandra? You already have Spark streaming to get message from everywhere. Well, what is good with Pulsar is there is no extra runtime. It's really Pulsar that will not pull but push. It's a typo here. Pulsar will push the message to Cassandra. Now, what is the difference? Pulsar sync does some simple mapping. These attributes in the message, these column in the Cassandra table, and that's it. Spark streaming is stronger because it's higher level languages where you can do some loops and condition and everything. But you need a Spark cluster to make that working. So Pulsar is already super, super cool just to allow that message moving through the wires. Okay, so lab 4 and 3 and 4. So we will not ask you to install Cassandra. You will simply use DataStax Astra, Cassandra as a service in the cloud, with the free tier, same as Kesk, and we will set up all those things. So I would like you to do lab number 3, meaning creating your Astra database and creating the table inside Astra database to save all these data. So what you will do, 1, create the DataStax Astra instance, 2, create the table, that's labs 3, and lab 4, create the sink and check that the data in the sink are now also in Cassandra database. So pretty cool. And lab 4. Okay, so let's do that. I don't want to move too many. Okay, so lab 3, go to Astra. Okay, let's do that. Let's go to Astra and sign in. I will sign in with GitHub. I will go. And I already have my database running, but if this is the first time you are using Astra, it will ask you to create a database. So use the free tier, not the serverless beta. It's also free, but it's still beta. Please use the free tier. Okay. When you pick the free tier, you will be asked to choose AWS, Google Cloud, and Azure, but not really choosing, because if you use a free tier, only Google Cloud is available for cost reason, because it's the cheapest for us. The database is free for you, not for us. We still need to pay Google Cloud to make that running. So just use that and select the region. Select the region that is close to you. Maybe select a region that is close to Kesk. So we use US West 2 in the Kesk. So I would rather use US East 1 as the Cassandra database. And when you fill the first screen, you will check configure database. On a side note, if you use a paid database in Astra, and you can, because I will give you $300 of credit at the end of this workshop to use Astra. Well, you can pick any cloud provider, and you can do VPC peering to connect this Cassandra database to your existing infrastructures. So now click configure database and provide names: DB name, key space, user, and password. Again, you can use whatever you like, but if you pick the same settings as me, it's easier later in the exercise to use the same. So now Pulsar here is the name of the key space. Again, I hope it's not too confusing. I simply would say, okay, in Cassandra, everything in this key space is relating to my communication with Pulsar. And when it's done, you click create database. You will get this screen to tell you pending, and when it's done, you will move to status active. And when the database is active, you will go to summary. So let's see. This is my Astra, and I will go to connect and summary. Okay. By the way, I can also click right here to go to the summary. I win 1 click. And see, this is what your database should look like. Active status, 5 GB of capacity, free forever. This is your database user. We cannot show you the database password because the platform is certified on SOC 2 security standards now, and of course we cannot store your password. So we just have your password cipher somewhere. The only option we can give you is reset password if you don't remember your password. That's like any other cloud-based platform. I mean the secured one. Okay, so this is the region name, US East, and this is my key space, Pulsar. Okay, Next in the exercise, what being asked is to go to SQL console. It will SSO SQL console. I don't have to provide any credential. You will do describe key spaces just to see, okay, what's in my Astra database. A bunch of system key spaces. So a key space in the Cassandra world is like it's a database. It's not a database. It's let's see. It's a group of tables. So here we do have system key spaces, and my key space, which is Pulsar. So what I would like to do is use Pulsar. Yeah, just thinking, I don't want to go to deep dive into Cassandra, but I saw we do have beginners for Cassandra as well, and I could spend hours talking about key spaces. So let's make it simple. So you created a database instance and you created a key space, a working space to put your tables. Here it's Pulsar. Next step is to create a table. And the table is named product with 2 columns, ID and description. And I already have my table created. So instead of create table, I will do a describe table to show you that the table is there for me. So see, the first part is really the instruction you need to execute, ID and a description. And pay attention. So in the table, I do have ID and description. In the JSON message, I do have ID and value. So it's not exactly the same. So when I want this message to go to the Cassandra database, I will make sure that I do a proper mapping. Okay, and select, I won't select because I already have everything wired. So if I select, there will already be message. You know, no cheating here. Last step in the Astra world is to download what we call the secure bundle. There are multiple ways to connect an application to Astra. So Astra is Cassandra, so you do have all the Cassandra drivers available for you. Node.js, Python, Java, C++, C#, and more. But in Astra, you also have some APIs for you. REST API, GraphQL API, Document API. It's an abstraction layer on top of Cassandra. And if you come from JavaScript world, maybe you would like better to use GraphQL and REST API. Well, here, this is Pulsar that connects to Cassandra. Pulsar is a Java application, and Pulsar will simply use the Java driver. So to set up Pulsar to connect to Cassandra, you need to provide the expected parameter for the Java driver, which are here, the Cloud Secure Bundle. So you download the Cloud Secure Bundle, okay, locally, and it will download the file on your machine. Okay, and with that, you okay for lab number 3, and we can jump right away to lab number 4, just to start connecting Pulsar to Astra. So let's see. Akil baby just summed up. I have to order the better Wi-Fi. Yeah, okay. Okay, how are you doing, guys, with the exercise? Are you okay? I move too fast, too slow? Tell me. Okay. exactly. Exactly. Okay, so moving on, what I need for Kesk to connect to Astra is a sink. Remember the Pulsar IO connector sink? So in the Kesk UI, we will simply set up a sink and we expect message to come to Astra, like that. It's like that, but there's 13 steps to set up the sink. So 13 because I really explain step by step, field by field, what you should provide. So if I move to Kesk, go to sync, you go to add, I go to manage because I already have my sync running. And so if I show you what's in there. So first, you will provide the zip, the one we just downloaded from Astra. Oh, no, even before. Oh, okay, let me then go to sync add maybe. Okay, where? Sync manage, sync add. Can I add one? Okay, so basics, I'm ready to insert a new a sync. So first things to check is really to use a Cassandra sync, because I told you in Pulsar IO connector, there are multiple technologies available. We want to use Cassandra Enhance, okay? Then sync name, provide the name you want, then pick the cloud secure bundle based on the one we just downloaded, okay? Then provide username, password, so user Astra, user password 1, okay? Then topic name, Astra, set verbose to true. The idea is really to have logs available for you when messages are consumed and see what's happening. Okay, then click settings, and here you will set the keys, and this is the most important part of the setup. This is where you will set up the mapping. So if you go to the exercise, I hope it's well defined. So what you want to create is a key value. The key is topic dot topic name. So this guy is related to Pulsar. Then dot Cassandra key space dot Cassandra name. Now this guy, everything related to Cassandra, Pulsar Cassandra. Dot mapping. Okay, so that key is the mapping from Pulsar to Cassandra. Pretty explicit, right? And the value is, Cassandra colon equals this field in the message in Pulsar. So here what we need is ID, because in the table, Cassandra table, we do have colon ID. That should map to JSON message value.id. And the colon description should map value.value. And so you will add that here, the value here, and you add key. Stay here, and you add another key. The value is ignore error. The key is ignore error. The value is all. Just, just to be sure, in case we broke things, it should ignore the errors. Okay, then disable auto hack, which is just a checkbox below the click for extra settings. And the last but not least, we need to provide the topic name. So go to input topic, provide the name Astra, and do add topic. And now the topic should appear here. So we have provided the credential to connect to Astra, the mapping from Pulsar to Astra, the topic name in Pulsar. Now we simply click add, and it will create the subscription for us. So this is what it looks like when you are done with all the fields, field 6, 7 to 12. Okay, so if I go to my sync, I do have already my Cassandra enhanced syncs running, and instance 1 as you, and after a while the running go to 1. If the running go to 1, that means Pulsar managed to connect to Cassandra your settings were okay, and you're good to go. So instance running 0, and after some while, instance 1 running 1. Cool. So now let's see. It asks me to go to manage and see, so 1, okay. Topics, okay. I'm using Astra topic for my subscription, sure. Instances, okay. I do have a sync running, and this is the message that have been processed, okay. And you go see it's keep rising. Why? Because we still have our Java producer sending message. So now, okay, so let's go back to Astra. So let's see, I will go back to the secret console. Connection close, this is expecting. Remember, we are certified SOC 2 on Astra, and we don't want that terminal to stay open, okay? Again, would be a security flaw. All right, so I will again use Pulsar, and this time I will truncate, meaning empty my table products. Okay, and I will right away select what's in my table products. I did something wrong. Blah, 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 blah. Yes, I knew it's too small on my screen. Yes, so let me do it again. Truncate the table. Okay, now I do have 2 messages, 3 messages. So the Pulsar message are now coming into my Astra database. Boom. And it's keep coming. So we have successfully wired a producer, a Pulsar topic running in the cloud, a sync from Pulsar connector up to Astra. And this is the end of the demo for today. And now you see that we use a lot of tools, but it's a pretty cool demo. Okay.
Cedric,
I will.
Yes. Sorry, could you please zoom in a little bit?
Yeah, but I'm almost.
Yes.
I'm almost. For the okay, so let's do it again. Then truncate, empty the table, and open it. Okay, now I do a 1, 2, 3, 4. So C16, can I find C16 there in the producer? Yes, here he is. See, this guy. So this guy is now has been on the KSQI and then on the Astra database. Okay, so let me stop. You see, exit. Okay. And we finished for the exercise. So we do have 20 minutes for the game and resources. So if you like the demo, if you like these resources, the slides are here. If you like this workshop and the activity and asking question, I told you already we are there twice a week, even more than twice a week for the workshop, and even more. So sample app, global meetups, teaching on Monday with Learning Mondays courses for real beginners. So consider to subscribe to the channel. The button is just below me, I think, on screen. I am on the good side.
Yeah, you're on the right side of the screen.
Okay, so click 10 centimeters below me. We need you to make the channel grow.
And okay. by the way, if you want to get notified and make more friends in LinkedIn, let me throw a link to Cedric's. Oops, okay, that was a wrong link. There are the links to Cedric's profile and my profile you may want to use to add more friends of ours
to get in touch,
at LinkedIn.
It's all about getting in touch, of course. We are not going anywhere. So the YouTube channel, if you want to know which workshop are coming, you can go to datastacks.com/workshop and here you go. If you want to go to Discord, bit.ly/Cassandra workshop, you will enter the fellowship of the rings. If you want to get notified through email for any workshop that's coming, here with the mailing list. If you like these 2 hours workshop, you can share that. You can share the love by clicking tweet, and it will you will have a ready to go tweet you can edit. That's for keep in touch. And for keep learning, so we use Katacoda scenario this morning. I show you there are many, many more. And on datastax.com/dev this time, more resources for you to learn what is Kubernetes, what is cloud native, what is Cassandra, how to use them together. And it's more hands-on using Katacoda. Now, if you are more the type of person using MOOC, massive online course and only video, we do have the full courses to learn Cassandra on academy.datastax.com. It's free. Everything that I show you is totally free. And you will get courses online with some small question and everything you need to prepare later some Cassandra certification. All the courses you need are there. We keep saying ask question in YouTube and Discord, but also we do have community.datastax.com. I like to say it's a Stack Overflow for Cassandra. Erick will kill me. I know he's watching me. But it's a forum, and see all the questions have been answered. So the team doing a fantastic job answering all the questions on community.datastax.com. It's question regarding all the DataStax products, system solution, mostly Cassandra, but now Pulsar as well. Okay, that's it for resources. It's not going anywhere. It's there. You can use this link whenever you like.
Cedric, there is a question we have to answer. So, wish to hear the comparison between Apache Pulsar versus other options available, Cloud PubSub or Kafka. So, regarding Cloud PubSub, we will not speak about that. The main difference, what's Apache Pulsar is an open source community tool which you can run over multiple clouds or on premises, and Google Cloud PubSub is obviously proprietary Google Cloud thing only. And Kafka, for the Kafka it's something more interesting, because before for Kafka we have a special webinar comparing Pulsar to Kafka, as Kafka is kinda industry standard. Well, we want to highlight some important differences. So, do we have a link to the upcoming webinar?
Look at the screen, Alex.
Oh my God! I was in the browser looking for the announcement.
No, answering all the questions I know. Yes, so both solutions, Pulsar and Kafka, are closed. Both are distributing messaging system. They are working with sync and sources. Both are working with schema-oriented message. Both are partition. Both are CP. Now, there are some difference in the architectures. The strength of Pulsar is really the way the message are stored using Bookie. The abstraction layers provided by Bookie allow you to scale easily. And this was the purpose of this slide, to tell you this abstraction and the topic definition in Zookeeper using multiple Bookie make you scale easily. And also the geographical replication, it's embedded in Pulsar. You can read and write from everywhere, and the message will be replicated everywhere, like you like to work with Cassandra. Now, disclaimer, I'm not a deep dive Pulsar expert. We acquired Pulsar a couple of weeks ago. So I do not want to make too strong assessment. You can ask them to the product manager and such. I like both solutions. Obviously, we will provide more support for Pulsar in the weeks to come. DataStax also provide a sync for Kafka. So so that's the difference are really in the architecture point of view and some choice that have been made. to ease the scale. And also there are some flaws in Kafka regarding how many partitions you can have and how the partition moved when you scale your cluster. I'm not a deep dive expert to give you too much insight about that. This is the webinar to ask your questions. Okay. So we love your feedback. So if you have a minute to enter this survey, look at that. Every developer who completes this survey will get a free virtual goodie bag. So please fill the survey. We need your support. We need to see what you are thinking, and you can win some prize. Yeah, you do have the link. Take a screenshot. Let's moving. Everybody's waiting for the game now, I'm sure. So okay, live coding on YouTube, we did that. And the resources, we also already shared that. So now let's go to Menti for the all-awaited game to win some swag. And after the game, I will stay in Menti for a very last open question. What do you want us to cover in 2021? And we will wrap up and we will be done. We are on time. We are doing a pretty good job. Maybe that's me going too fast on the labs. I hope not.
Well, feedback is positive, and again, people can do the practice steps after the workshop and communicate with us at Discord, so it should be fine.
Okay. Okay. Now it's getting serious. I'm waiting for you on the quiz, and not even the quiz. I will switch to net screen, and I will have a screen telling me waiting for players. So how many players do we have?
Okay, so I see we have 50 people watching this in YouTube, and
you know what,
yeah.
Alex? We had 5 questions for yesterday, 5 questions for today. It seems like I opened a Menti with 10 questions. So let's play 10 Menti questions.
Yes. So it will be a tough competition today. A lot of questions.
So yeah, 10 questions for you. Wow, that will be a tough one. But you know, it's game, so let's play the game as much as we want.
Yep.
Okay, so with 10 questions, I will move faster. Okay, so are you ready? 34, 48 on the, I think we do have everybody there. So let's go. Question 1. Where Pulsar store data? Zookeeper, Bookkeeper, Kafka, Bookstore.
Again, watch your phones or whatever you use to go to Menti. Use that thing, not YouTube. YouTube has a delay.
Yes, most of you made it right. Okay, it's indeed Bookkeeper or name Bookie to store the data. Okay, leaderboard number 1.
Yeah, this one was simple. So just who was the fastest one? Rupal. Well, great job, fastest, 974 points.
Good job, you were the fastest. Let's go to question number 2 of 10. Jeez, did not know I
that's
put the
great,
10 question.
but that's great.
Now, where does Pulsar store the metadata?
So who paid enough attention?
Yes.
Apache Kafka, Apache Bookkeeper, Apache Zookeeper in a bookstore. Yeah, are they different or are they the same?
No, indeed. Most of you made it right.
Yes.
It's really indeed the Zookeeper to store the metadata.
So we have attentive listeners today. Yeah, it's a different store. It's Zookeeper.
Yes, I hope you enjoy.
So...
Okay, Ripal still was the fastest. So we do have a... Oh, yeah, Ripal is very, very fast.
Yeah.
So let's see. Question number 3. In Bookkeeper, what is a bookie? A server with Apache Bookkeeper running, a collection of records, a hashing function, a guy who takes bets for you. This is what a bookie is, anyway. Oh no, a bookie is really the machine where where you store. It is really the machine. Multiple bookies. Bookie is like a node in Cassandra. It's really a server with Apache Bookkeeper running. The collection of record is it's called ledger.
Yeah, it was a surprisingly hard question, but I'm absolutely sure Cedric told it many times today. Bookie is a server with Apache Bookkeeper, so yeah, that's a right question.
And with 10 questions, even if you did a mistake, I think you can still win some prize. It's not like 5 questions, Oh yeah, Rupal again. Jeez, Rupal is on optical fiber and read question at the speed of light. Okay, Cisco and Nilansh second and third.
And Sandeep is very close, but on the 4th place.
Okay. Which subscriptions are available in Pulsar? Shared, exclusive, failover, $9.99 per month. I think for this one, everybody will have it okay. Because the 3 first were correct.
Yeah, they all are correct. Both.
Yes, except the last one. Yeah, and I don't think there were a way to make sure everybody click on the 3. So if you pick 1, 2, or 3, you're good to go. But that's a good reminders. Okay, so exclusive, shared, key shared, or failover. Okay, no change in the dashboard.
And Puneet Negi was the fastest, getting to the top 10. So we still have a lot of questions.
Oh yeah, eagle eyes, Alex, eagle eyes. What's the name of connector to push message from Pulsar to other systems? A sync, a source, a sync, a sync, or sync. That's pretty slick. Next time I will be sync, slick, sync. Yeah, I will change source by slick. Yes, indeed, it's a sync.
Good. And Cesco makes a mistake. So.
But still, even with the mistake, you still make the top 10.
Yeah, top 10, but not top 3 anymore. That brings Humam to the 3rd place, Rupal keeping the 1st, and Nilansh on the 2nd. Okay, that's a competition, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah, Rajil was the fastest this time. Okay, moving on. Question 6. How does Pulsar connect to Astra? I'm sure I told you this one. With the REST API, Document API, DevOps API, with the Java drivers of LinkedIn. You can connect us with LinkedIn, but probably not Astra. And yes, the good answer is really with the Java drivers. Pulsar is written in Java, and so the sync are Java-based as well. So let's use the drivers the fastest while using the abstraction API layers. No use here. We all living in the Java world.
Oh my God.
Oh, yes. See? Jeez, now we have Nilansh leading. Okay.
Yeah, so fastest answer was Sai Sharaf Vairoju. I hope I pronounce it correct. Sorry if I'm wrong. And Nilansh gets to the 1st place, Sandeep to the 2nd, and Homer to the 3rd because of Rupal's mistake. Okay.
Yes. I think 10 questions is even better.
Yeah.
It's more work for us, but it's funny. Okay, question 7. Which parameter is not required to set up Astra Sync? Astra Database ID, the topic name, user and password, Astra Secure Connect bundle.
I think this one is tricky, only for those who really did the practice already.
It was the last things we did.
Yeah.
So, oh yeah, indeed, it was tricky.
It was
okay,
tricky.
my bad. Okay, I know now this one is tricky. But yeah, with many questions, I can put one tricky there. Okay, which parameter is not required? So really what we need is user password, the broker, and the topic name. And the key mapping, and okay. But if it was too easy, it was not a game.
Yeah, indeed. So let's see to the changes. And now leaders, top three, Sandeep and Homer are making a mistake, which brings Rupal back to the top three with the fastest answer. He's back. He's back.
Oh, he's back. Congrats.
Yeah.
Congrats.
And Sai Lakshman gets to the third place, which is a great job.
And Homer moved and up and down and Ranjit. Oh, yo. What a competition. It's so funny. Okay. Question 8. Which schema is not supported by Pulsar? Avro, JSON, Protobuf, XML.
Yeah, I like those questions. They're a good feed for those who really was listening to you.
Exactly. Yes. So indeed, the correct answer is XML. So I show you some sample code for JSON and Avro. So for sure, those two were supported. I say loud, Protobuf is there as well. It was XML. Yes, and the trick is.
Oh my God! Take a look at that.
Ripple take the lead. Woo! Nilash, Nilash missed, I guess, but still second place.
Yeah. Good job.
And Cisco is back. Look at that. He's fourth. Oh, no.
Yeah, I like these 10 questions stuff. Yeah. A lot of jumps.
2 more questions. Yeah. What is Astra? It's a gateway to the store. It's a local in-memory version of Cassandra. It's a development tools. It's Cassandra as a service in the cloud. Yes, indeed. This one was more simple. Okay. I think one more question to go. So now. Okay. Geez, so close.
Yeah.
Okay, so last question, people. Stay focused. Let's go. Which is not a component of Pulsar vocabulary. Again, not. Producer, consumer, subscription, director. Speed question here. Yeah, it is a speed question. Yeah. So indeed, director is not part of the Pulsar vocabulary. Okay, moment of truth, people. Who are the winners?
No mistakes this time. Rupal was slow this time, but it was still enough to keep the first place. Congratulations, Rupal.
Congratulations, Rupal, Nilash, and Uman. Please send an email to Jack Friars at datastack.com. Jack is probably sharing his email on the YouTube chat now. And speaking of the YouTube chat, because you attend today, I do have a small surprise for you. So because you attend this workshop, I will give you some giveaway. And you do have 2 options. You can either go with the voucher to be able to try the certification for free. So this certification is valid 3 months, allow you 2 attempts. So if you pass 1 certification on the first attempt, you can try the other with the second attempt. So I like to say it's not $145, it's really $290 because you have 2 tries to get the certification. or you can ask for a 300 code to get using the paid version of Astra, and to apply for one of these options. Jack is right now sharing the link in the YouTube chat. It won't be open for long, so do it now. Ask for either a Voucher certification or a Astra code. And with that, I think I'm done. I will simply have an open question to end properly the stream with you all. So, thank you very much for attending this 2-hour session. We are there every week. And question for you to end: what technology should we cover in 2021? Because in the pipe, we already have Spring Boot, Quarkus, all the React stack, Jamstack for the React folks, Django Flask for Python, so that's for the Java, and also Cassandra, Pulsar, Spark, streaming, a lot of how to cheat Menti. It's the end, so we made a mistake in the past to provide the same question on Wednesday and Thursday, and obviously we had some cheaters on the Thursday. So this time, either the question will be always different, or it will be 10 questions.
Yeah.
We must acknowledge we are aware of the issue, but we will fix that.
I see the Docker mentioned in the what technology framework should we cover. Actually, we did already last year, and at this channel, maybe Jack could throw a link. At this channel, we have a 5 classes series for Docker, Introduction to Docker and Basics of Kubernetes. Yeah, thank you, Jack. Docker course link is in the YouTube chat, and you can go and do all the tasks and watch all the video. And if you will have any questions, catch us at the Discord Docker channel of our Discord server.
Yes, and so all the topics I saw here will be covered this year, so I'm pretty happy. Cassandra will be in 4 weeks. Kubernetes and Docker, we do have a full courses, as Alex stated, but we will go back and explain more about that. I do have ideas about that. Cassandra, Pulsar, Kafka, sure, of course. Spark, yeah, it's in the same range. Flink would be a new topic, but why not? I think Flink has some connector for Cassandra as well, so it should be a good reason to do some content around Flink. Document API, sure, I love the document API that introduce JSON in the Cassandra world with the schemaless. So we really need more content about document. And so, yeah, I think we are done.
Yep. Regarding, I see Cassandra mentioned it. For Cassandra, we have a big event, special event for the Cassandra coming at, I'm trying to find the date, approximately 1 month later in the beginning of March, so somewhere about 3rd or 4th of March. It will be all about Cassandra. That's so for the Cassandra it's scheduled already, and for the Spark we definitely need to have more. Yes.
Yeah. And I saw DBA SRE, which is funny because we do have this whole campaign running, like how to move from DBA to SRE using Cassandra. That's coming, folks. That's coming. It's all about 2021. So again, thank you very much for attending. I think we are on time. So thank you and see you, Nathan. Send you, Alex. Again.
Thank you. Thank you, Cedric.
After crime. See you all. Bye.
Yeah. Ciao.